Hey, you see this nice microphone here? Yeah, this nice looking one, cost a pretty penny. Well, halfway through the video, it just decided to stop working. So there's just no good audio for this video. Nothing I could really do. And I'm still making this just because I didn't want a perfectly fine video to go to waste just because the audio is kind of bad. So let's hope we're gonna do better later.
Welcome back to McFancyPants, the official YouTube channel of myself. Today I'm pretty hyped up right now because a little under an hour ago there's a game called Enter the Gungeon, and I just beat the final boss of that, something that I never thought I would ever do. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. What we're going to be talking about is in fact Pedego electric bikes. What this is, you may not know. I'm pretty sure most people don't know. It's pretty underground, if I do say so myself, much like Mac DeMarco. It's an electric bike company. And you can go to their stores that are located all around the US. And within those stores, you can find electric bikes. And you have two options. You can either rent or buy an electric bike. Typically, I just rent because I don't have a spare $2,000 just laying around to buy myself a high quality electric bike. So yes, of course, I usually just rent, and usually it's fairly inexpensive. I would say maybe like $40 per trip, but you really get a ride as like around the area for as long as you want. Hell, you can ride back to your own house and then just ride back all in one day, and it'll be, a fun little time. It's not that crazy, and it's definitely not something that you're gonna do like every day or every week. But I mean, hey, if people can go to Disneyland like 50 times a year, I think that every once in a while they can rent an electric bike for like $40-ish. But there's lots of things about actually renting these bikes that's very uncomfortable. Before I say anything, I do recommend this. I mean, I think it's a fun time because just not pedaling on a bike, just going, not requiring any sort of license to drive this motorized vehicle is incredible. It's incredibly fun. There's wind blowing in your hair, everyone's, passing by, you're just having a good old time, get some music, jam out. Come on, it's just fun, if you will. But there are problems with this. See, typically the shops, the Pedego bike shops are located right next to bike trails, and this makes sense because obviously you're gonna ride the bike on a bike trail, but it makes a lot of very uncomfortable situations. Especially the last time that I went, man, you just feel kind of mean. Okay, the feeling I get riding a Pedego electric bike on a bike trail is the same feeling that I would probably get if I rode a regular bike through a wheelchair convention. That's such a stupid video. Basically, what happens is everyone's there huffing and puffing away. They're trying to like actually work out. Maybe they're making a commute to work or something like that. They don't have a car, they're riding a bike. 9 times out of 10, it's somebody like actually working out, riding like uphill on this bike trail. It's like 90 degrees because it's summer, and they're just working up this huge sweat, and they're like really getting it, and then you just fly on by just with the electric bike that you rented for $40. There's no greater feeling than the feeling of I'm better than you because I rented this bike that propels me across everything with ease. I can go uphill without lifting a finger, man. Like it's such an odd thing, just rolling by everybody who's actually trying to put in effort and not just having like a good old time with their relatives. For example, there was a whole group of people, a whole family, I believe, just based off of assumption. They were at the stoplight. And I pulled up with my electric bike, and they were kind of spread out across the entire crosswalk, so I couldn't just zoom right on past them. So I kind of just sat awkwardly behind them. But at some point it tuned into them that yeah, there's actually somebody behind us, so what ended up happening was something like this. Oh yeah, you can go ahead. And then they just...
Hey everyone, not even turning down the mic audio for this, I'm furious. This whole video is like the worst thing ever. Basically, at some point the audio just decided to unsync itself. I didn't know that was possible for a camera to just do. Anyway, basically, if the audio is kind of unsynchronized with my lips, I tried my best.
didn't make room for me. And it was so weird because there was one guy in particular, he looked like 35-ish, and he was just looking at me with his like sunglasses like, yeah man, just go ahead, it's all good. And I said, okay, tried going past. I was going kind of slow because I didn't want to ram into anybody. There's a few younger kids there, and he was still just looking at me the entire time like, yeah, just go right on past. You got it. I was like, okay, yeah, thank you. And as soon as I like made it into the clear, kind of past everyone, just straight like 50 miles per hour, just go far away from them. Well, I go with my dad. Okay, it's, you know, father-son bonding thing. So I ended up going with my dad, and we come to this kind of like intersection. We come to this point where there's a path to the left, and then there's a path straight forward. The path to the left, that one isn't like a typical path. It's like, yeah, if you're a weirdo, you go over here. So my dad's like, hey, want to go on the weird path over there that we've never explored before and it looks kind of sharp? So I said, yeah, sure, okay, I've been on the normal path plenty of times, so might as well go, you know, do something a bit adventurous. Go down there, and it comes to kind of like a dead end. We're like, okay, that was fun, that was whatever, that was a nice 10 minutes. Ride back, and as soon as I ride back, of course, I see the entire family just back at it again. So I don't even like attempt to interact at this point. I just see them and I'm like, okay, most of them are on the left side. That means I can just kind of finagle my way around and hopefully this just works out. The entire time, it's like that feeling when you know people are just looking at you. It's not even like something just in your head. I know those people were just looking at me. But around these like strangers, I was just the most awkward, like, have a good day. And spoiler alert, that was not the last time I saw them either. But we'll get onto that a little bit later. So we end up riding for about an hour, and we get to the point where it's like, yeah, we should probably head back now. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. It's time to head back. We're gonna go home, eat some nice juicy burgers, okay? And as I come back, for some reason, like 50 more people are looking at me. Like before going over there, I felt like it was just that one particular family that was looking at me kind of weird, but we had so many people. Okay, so and this all ties back into the whole, I feel so rude because all of you are working so hard at this, and I'm just riding on an electric bike. I'm not even pedaling. It's basically just a slower motorcycle at this point, and I feel so uncomfortable. At some point I see this like, this Hispanic couple, and this guy, like, he looked like he was about to kill me. He wasn't even on a bike himself. He was just like walking, but the opposite direction. So we were facing each other. And as soon as I start passing him, he just goes. And I don't know why. His wife was like totally not aware of anything that was going on. She was just minding her own business. But he was just giving me death eyes. I don't understand why or how. Like somebody could look this mad. I was just riding a bike, man. But I didn't do anything wrong. But I'm conforming to the societal norms of renting a $40 bike. Like, come on, this isn't so weird, right? I had an experience that showed me truly that white people are some of the weirdest people I know. And you may be thinking to yourself like, whoa, William, you're white. Okay, the thing is though, I know like 2 white people. It's so weird to like interact with like. And even at that, I'm pretty sure the ones that I do know are also mixed. So it's like, they don't have the full white culture. But you see like a full white person just like within 2 seconds of them like being in your vision. It's just something that clicks in your head. You know how straight people claim that they have gaydar? Well, I'm pretty sure everyone is like white dar, because I can just detect it immediately. Mothers, their fathers, their grandpas, grandmas, their ancient ancestors, 5,000% white, okay? So what happens is, we're almost back at the little store because we're still heading back at this point, and I see a couple. This is a white couple, and the woman, she turns around to her husband because they're both riding on separate bikes, and she's just kind of like, she recognizes that, oh, we both rented $40 electrical bikes to ride on this random bike trail. And she's just ecstatic at this. And her husband seems kind of just like, he doesn't really care. If somebody is also riding a $40 rented electric bike and they're just waving at me, that makes me so uncomfortable, but that's exactly what they did, okay? And you know, they're riding past, and the guy seems to liven up a little bit, because as he passed by, he shows me the whitest chompers I've seen in the world. His teeth were blinding. If he turned his face towards the sun and just gave a nice wide smile, I'm pretty sure astronauts could just see how white his teeth are just from the glint. Okay, it was incredible how white his teeth were. They looked unnatural. But we ended up going back to the little Pedego shop, and that ended our day. And I was left with the mental horrors of riding Pedego electric bikes. Needless to say, I'm definitely going to be doing this again. It's a very fun experience, and that wasn't even my first time doing it. I've done this like 4 times already, and each time it's just as miserable. So if you ever want to go down to Pedego electric bikes, just prepare for